The new S26 Ultra will convince you that your phone is basically a potato, because the Galaxy S26 Ultra isn't just a phone, it's Samsung flexing on the entire industry. Samsung just ripped out a camera that's been on every Ultra since 2020, replaced it with new hardware, shrunk the phone, and then did something wild to hide the fallout. By the end of this video, you'll know whether the S26 Ultra is a genius move or a design misstep that hands Apple an easy win. They started with the camera, and not subtly. Samsung finally retired the old, tired 10MP 3x telephoto and swapped in a new 12MP 3x telephoto that's paired with a brand new 200MP main sensor with a much wider aperture, and the periscope-style 5X gets a bigger aperture too, about 38% more light. In plain terms, sharper detail, stronger bokeh, and a real step up in low-light photos and video. This is Samsung's most complete low-light camera stack yet. But good cameras need space, and that's where everything else starts to ripple. Samsung chased the thin phone trend. The S26 Ultra is about 0.3mm thinner than the S25 Ultra. Less internal room, plus bigger sensors make lenses sticking out more. The result? The camera bump grew dramatically. Reports point to a total protrusion around 3.7mm. A lone lens that tall would look and feel awkward, so Samsung did what it did on the Fold 7. They brought back a camera island, a wider raised base to house and visually balance the large lenses. The island isn't just style, it's function. It makes the huge bump look intentional and less like a broken lens. That island comes with a familiar problem, though people saw it on the Z Fold 7 already. Large camera housing with thin body makes an awkward third-party accessory fit, and magnets for Qi 2 are now sitting close to that same chunk. More on magnets in a minute. Design shifts don't stop at the back. Samsung kept tweaking the frame after the boxy S24 Ultra and the slightly softened S25. The S26 Ultra goes rounder again. The whole S26 family will share the same softer corner profile. It's subtle, but deliberate. The phone is also about 0.6mm taller and 0.3mm wider, so the overall feel in hand stays close to last year. Weight, nearly unchanged. Bezels, renders show those aren't dramatically slimmer, but the front still looks like Samsung's cleanest, most bezel-minimized display yet, and it adds a third-generation anti-reflective coating for better outdoor readability. And yes, the punch-hole selfie remains. No under-display camera yet. Good news for note-takers, the S Pen slot is still there. Sheet model shows Samsung kept the internal slot, so the Ultra remains the only flagship with a built-in stylus. They recently gave the Tab S11's pen a thicker, pencil-like tip to reduce wear. The S26's slot looks unchanged, so the pen may keep its current size even if the tip design could be improved later. Now the charging story, big change. Every S26 model will support true Qi 2 with built-in magnets, which means stronger, simpler wireless charging without special case tricks. The S25 Ultra topped out at 15-watt wireless. S26 should be faster, though Samsung hasn't said how fast yet. But here's the rub. Qi 2 magnets and reverse wireless charging don't always work together. Google's Pixel 10 dropped reverse charging for this reason. It's technically possible, but it requires extra engineering. If Apple adds reverse charging properly to the iPhone, Samsung will likely scramble to match it. If Apple skips it, Samsung might too. Back to practicality. The magnets are centered, but the camera island is very large, so some third-party mags and accessories, especially the squarish ones, could sit awkwardly or interfere. There are also model small prints worth noting. The S26 Ultra and the Pro appear to share the same Fold 7 style camera module, while the S26 Edge leans hard into an iPhone 17 Pro-inspired look at the top edge. So what's the trade-off? Samsung built a thinner, sleeker phone with a massive upgrade to camera hardware, kept the S Pen, improved the display coating, and added modern Qi 2 magnets. But to get there, they created a very large camera island and the risk of losing useful features like reverse wireless charging or causing accessory headaches. On a table, the phone might wobble. In a pocket, it's still very manageable. In low light, thanks to the bigger sensors and wider apertures, you'll see clear, real improvement. Which side are you on? Massive camera bump for better photos, or keep it slim and flat even if it costs low-light performance? Drop your pick in the comments, hit like if you learned something new, and subscribe for the full hands-on when these things land.